And draw the knees up, rock a little from side to side and close your eyes. We'll start in a very simple way so that we can appreciate that there is a sophistication in this simplicity. That we're appreciating that being alive is not ordinary. There's nothing ordinary about you. We can sometimes forget how extraordinary it is to be alive at all, let alone alive and awake. Alive and awake, vaguely sane, at least conscious and aware, and that the conditions that allow that to be possible are so extraordinary. That you're alive, it is so extraordinary. And when we start from there, when we start from the miracle of life, our practice becomes a celebration. It's not something that we do so much as something that we just explore and feel. So let's give our practice over to exploration. Give ourselves a moment to celebrate the fact that we can feel, that we can breathe, that we can move, that we have volition and choice. All right, bring left foot to floor and just hug the right knee from the back. So hug hands around the back of the knee and the knee into the chest. And we're doing the stretch and flop technique. So flex the foot and then stretch, stretch, stretch that right leg. Stretch as enthusiastically as you're willing, and then flop it back down. So we're flexing the foot, heel to the ceiling, stretch and stretch and stretch and a little bit more, and then flop. And so we'll do that a few more times to tug at the tissues, flop. So waking up the legs very progressively and flop. Let's stretch and stay there. Walk a little higher, as high as you're willing to go, and then point and flex and point and flex. So we're just going to allow the tug of the tissues as we point and flex. And you can feel that movement of the tug probably all the way from maybe the buttock bone on the right side all the way to the heel. Especially when you flex, you'll feel this real tug, and you're tugging not only at the tissues, but you're also tugging at nerve tissue. Not only muscle and fascia, but nerve tissue is being tugged there. And so turn it into a rotation. You can close your eyes and simply feel the rotation at the ankle. The toes will be helping. The deer toes trying to help. And then rotating the other direction, we want to get a little bit of heat. So we need to wait and do enough repetition to get a little bit of burn. We want a little bit of change on the inside. It might already be burning. All right, now last flex. Peel the toes back towards you and then let the leg go and see if you can hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee, just pull the knee, hands on front of the knee now, pull the knee into the chest. And we're going to go to half happy baby. So hold the foot, the right foot in both hands if you can reach. Pull the right knee towards the armpit, towards the floor, kind of trying to come past the chest. And that might feel already fairly challenging. If you want to, you can lengthen the left leg down towards the floor, which makes it much more challenging. We're just going to linger here in this stretch. It's sort of like a lizard lunge upside down. And now with the knee, the right knee pulling towards the floor, float your left heel off the floor and charge that leg out. So really charging the leg and flex the foot, and then point, flex the foot and point. So that's on the left foot, point, flex, point. Last one, flex, point. And then we're going to swap. So right foot down, left knee in, hands at the back. We'll get floppy with the left foot and then flex foot, heel to ceiling, stretch, 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 and flop. And so now that we know the sequence on this side is going to be fairly the same, we can settle in the mind a little bit. We're not thinking so much now about the instructions. We're just feeling more, thinking less. So we can feel the tug of the tissue. And when we flop it down, all of that tug and electric stretch sensation just switches completely off. So we're switching on and then flopping it all off. Do a few more reps of the tug of the tissues and then flopping. All right, and then lengthen the leg, walk up a little higher along the leg so you can hold maybe the calf muscle or the ankle, and then point and flex. And you can close your eyes and just feel. And so, of course, we're feeling the electricity of that very deep stretch. It doesn't matter where our leg is, we're all feeling fairly much the kind of same tug all the way up through the back of the leg. And then we want to rotate, and we're moving slow enough to feel deeply. We want to really experience the whole range of the movement, the whole of the feeling, even the burn, and then rotating the other direction. So we're not rejecting any part of our sensation. We're not saying that's wrong and that's right. We're just drinking it all in. All right, last, flex the foot and pull the leg a little closer and then let go. So the muscles at the front have to kind of hold the leg there. Flex the foot as you hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then it'll feel so good to bend the knee and just tug the knee into the chest and flop that foot down as well. Half happy baby. So hold the left foot, draw the knee towards the floor past the chest, so towards the armpit area, and just hold yourself there. So you're opening the foot out, the knees coming towards the armpit, and then lengthen the other leg down. And then we're going to charge that leg, that right leg up, and point and flex at that straight leg. We can spread our attention not only to the right leg, but the left leg. We can feel both legs at once. Let's become holistic in our ability to feel. We're spreading awareness across the whole of the body. And then last, charge through that leg, and then bring both knees into your chest and rock a little from side to side. So the legs will feel a bit buzzy, a little stimulated. How wonderful. And we'll just travel a little up towards the pelvis area now. We're going to focus on the pelvis. Just let yourself do a pelvic rock. So the tuck of the tailbone, and then the tailbone sticks out. So you're rocking the pelvis forwards and backwards. There's a back bend and then a little forward bend, rocking your pelvis. This is massaging around the lower back area. It's kind of hydrating the tissues that come through from the spine, through the pelvis into the hips. And tissues, muscles, muscular tissue, but also fascial tissue, connective tissue. We want the entire tissue fabric of our bodies to be plump and hydrated. We do not want dehydrated tissues, no way. And so, of course, moving is like a lubrication. So we are lubricating through moving. All right, let's do pelvic walking now. Lift the bum off the floor 2 inches, and then bring just the right buttock onto the ground, and then lift the right buttock, left buttock onto the floor, lift the left buttock. So there's a twist through the spine, through the sacrum, through to the hips. So the pelvis is walking, and there's a slight twist through the pelvis because there's an asymmetry in our walking. 1 buttock at a time, touching the ground, 1 buttock touching, and we're not dropping our touching buttock, we're just touching, tipping, and not really landing, because we want the muscles around the hips to warm up a little bit. We're hydrating through action. All right, take 10 more steps. Touch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the pelvis down, knees in, and rock a little from side to side. You can rotate your ankles just to rehydrate around your ankles and toes. All right, let's come into dynamic twists. Feet in, knees out. We'll just let ourselves rest here in Supta Baddha Konasana just for a moment. You can feel the tug on the inner part of the hips and probably the inner thighs. We'll just let our hands rest to the side. While we're letting our hips open like this, let's focus on our breathing. Let's do a 2-part inhalation and a very slow exhalation. So let the first part of your inhale come into your belly. Inhale, belly. Inhale into the chest now. Deep, deep, deep inhale, and then very slowly let the air out with a little whisper at the back of your throat. And then we do it again. So in your own time, inhale belly, and then inhale into the chest. It's a really long, very deep breath. And then we're slowly releasing the air with a little bit of constriction at the back of our throat. So it'll sound like a whisper as you exhale. It's like a gas leak. So do 2 more of the 2-part inhale, slow whispered exhale. All right, now we're going to turn this into a dynamic twist exercise, opening and closing the legs from side to side. So drag yourself, legs closed to one side, and then you open the legs to the center and drag yourself closed with the legs onto the other side. So you're just allowing the pelvis, because the pelvis is connected to the legs, the spine gets dragged into a rotation. And it's really nice if we don't go too aggressively. It's really nice for the lower back to just open in this asymmetrical way. You're just tugging at tissues across the lower back. And we have a lot of diagonal fiber tissue in the torso. So we're just allowing those diagonal fiber tissues to be tugged and pulled at in a gentle and kind way. So just do 2 more, opening and closing, dragging your spine into the rotation. We've hydrated the tissues around now the lower back through the pelvis and into the legs. So let's roll to the side and come into hands and knees, and we'll continue in this moving is lubricating kind of model of movement. Spread your hands as you take your weight through to hands and knees. Let's cat-cow. Inhale, arch through spine. Exhale, curl. You can continue to whisper your breathing. It makes the breath nice and controlled, nice and spacious and long. We'll do 1 more of those. Arch spine, inhale, and curl the spine, exhale. Let's come into a rib cage push-up exercise next. Hands come forwards, half plank, so shift forward so your shoulders are over at the wrists. And so we're going to try and isolate the arms straight. The arms are not going to bend, but our rib cage is going to go closer to the floor and then away from the floor. The shoulder blades come towards each other, shoulder blades apart. So we're hydrating the muscles around the shoulder blades, the backs of the ribs. We're isolating the movement so the arms stay locked straight. See if you can keep your arms straight as you move your shoulders and shoulder blades. So my arms are not bending, it's just the movement around the shoulder blades. Yeah, that's it. We'll do 3 more. 3, 2, 1, and then pull back into child's pose, which will feel very relieving after all of that. Hands come stretching outwards, so you can let your hands open at the front of the mat. Let the palms open, so you're rolling the shoulder heads in their joints. Let the palms open, that's it. Take a big, deep sighing breath here. We'll just let ourselves rest here for a moment, feeling a little bit of tingle around the shoulders and shoulder blades, probably. And then let's come back. Let's do 1 more set of the rib cage push-ups. So the arms stay straight. We're in half plank, and we're bringing the shoulder blades towards each other. The rib cage comes towards the floor. The shoulder blades move apart. The rib cage comes towards the ceiling. So get very precise with the action. Lock your arms straight. It's a weird experience if you've never done rib cage push-ups before. But you can feel there starts to be a real heat in and around the tissues in the upper back and shoulder area. Well, let's do 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Instead of going backwards, come forwards onto your belly. We're going to bring our foreheads onto the ground, and we're going to reach our hands up and back as though somebody's pulling our fingers. You can point through your toes, charge through your legs. You're not lifting your legs off the floor, but you're just lifting your hands as though somebody's pulling the fingers backwards for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then peel up and over your feet to down dog. We'll just give ourselves a little walk in the down dog. As we walk our down dog, you can stay fairly square to walk. Let's not stay square. Let's do skiing dog. So we're bending the knees and pushing back, bending the knees in one direction. They get straight at the center and then they bend to the side. Straight at the center, spin, bend to the sides. So we're spinning the pelvis as we move. So ski dog. We're spinning on our feet. This is a real twist through the spine. The pelvis is moving very specifically from side to side. You're getting some tug at the side body here. All right, and then come back into the center. Walk forwards for floppy forward bend. So the heels underneath the hips, hold the elbows and release your head and neck. You can lean a bit from one side to the other side, bend one knee at a time, flop at least in your neck, if not even in your chest and shoulders if you can. Take a big, deep sighing breath. And let yourself flop even more deeply. All right, walking up with your hands on your legs, walking up to standing. We'll just let our blood pressure equalize, get rid of any dizziness just by pausing. If you feel really dizzy, drop your chin down and just let that pass. All right, let's come into a wide stance. We're going to go toes out, knees out. If you want to stay facing me, you can just come off the mat if you want to, or otherwise along the mat with your toes and your knees. Okay, bend and lengthen. We're going to hydrate into the hips by actioning up through the thighs. All right, we'll stay low. Take your hands and push outwards and really charge up your arms. Soften your face though. Inhale, 1. And push. Inhale, 2. Exhale. Inhale, 3. Exhale here. All right, just give yourself a break. Hands on the hips and up and down, allowing the toes to come out and the knees come out. All right, let's stay again. Let's bring our hands in. The shoulders are nice and broad, so depress the shoulders, but float the elbows. Push into your hands, sit nice and low. 3 breaths, soft base. Inhale, 1. Exhale. Slight whisper on the breath, maybe 2. Exhale. And 3. Exhale. Hands on the hips. Let's give ourselves a break. We're going up and down. We're going to do one more expression of this goddess pose set. Bend knees, sometimes called horse pose, sometimes called goddess pose. Let's do the goddess style pose. Hands come behind. We're going to push the fists into the center. So touch the fists to each other. It'll take you a moment to get them there. Okay, once you get them there, broaden the shoulders, sit nice and low, push into your fists. 3 breaths. 1. Exhale. 2. Exhale. And 3. Exhale here. Well done. Come up and off the goddess. And then heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Just kick that out of the legs. Shake that out of the arms. All right, let's do a breathing practice. And so the toes are out, the knees are out, but it's no longer a charge through the thighs. We're going to do a big sweeping inhale, big circle, catch something invisible at the top, and then let your hands come down, soft bend in the knees. 3 breaths here. Inhale, 1. Exhale, as deep and slow as you can with the breathing. Inhale, 2. Build real focus here. You can feel yourself in the middle of the mat, in the middle of your universe. Inhale, 3. Come right to the center of your own being. And then lift the hands up as you inhale. Lift up, look up. And exhale, reach out. Okay, now scooping, gathering, something invisible. Let's call it your focus. Gather your focus and then come in right to the center. Feel the earth. You can feel the earth beneath you, but the earth is also inside you. It's inside every cell, feeling the earth energy. And now feel the cellular physical energy of your body. Feel the energy of your mind, the energy of being awake and aware. And then so abundant is this energy that we reach it up, spilling like a fountain upward, and then out. Again, scooping and gathering, collecting yourself to come right into the center so that you may appreciate earth energy on the first breath. You can feel the earth, the cellular life force energy of your body. You can feel your life force. On the third breath, the awareness has an energy. Feel the space of awareness. And then so abundant, like a fountain springing upwards, reach up, share out. Again, now that we've gotten used to the instructions, let's come right into the joyful center of being energized from the earth. Feel the energy, the cellular energy of your bones, of your muscles, of your organs, and the energy of your mind, the energy of your mind. And allow that to be so abundant that it's lifting up like a spring. Inhale out, exhale out. And again, reaching, gathering yourself right into the center of your being so that you can feel and appreciate earth energy. You can feel and appreciate your bodily, physical energy. You can feel and appreciate the energy of awareness. And like a spring, we lift up, inhale, share out, exhale. We'll do one more round, scooping and gathering your focus, earth energy. You're an earth child. Physical energy. You are this biological force. You're conscious and aware, and you are spacious. Feel the space of the energy of your mind, your consciousness, your awareness. So abundant, we lift up like a spring and share. Okay, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, and just kick that out of the legs and the toes. Kick that out or shake that out of the hands. Let's grab blocks. And now that we have kind of a nice focused mind, that we're able to appreciate what we do when we bow to the light of the ancient sun. So just feel the energy of your body here. We're going to be doing sun salutations. Do you want to drag your mat slightly backwards? Sun salutations, Ashtanga style, without any of the Ashtanga mind. Let's just be no force, no rules, no worries. So come into this spacious awareness, and we're moving and breathing, but we're moving and breathing as though we're floating around in space, because that's what's happening here. Okay, we're at Samastitihi without any force, and then float the arms up in the inhale. As we exhale, there's a bow here into a forward bend. Come into half lift, inhale. Float back, right foot, left foot, plank. Inhale, plank. Float very slowly down to the floor, all the way through to the floor. Inhale, floating to a cobra. Exhale, floating to a down dog for 3 breaths. Spread the fingers and enjoy your breathing. Inhale, 1. Exhale, enjoying the ride that's called your life. Inhale, 2. Exhale, broadening and lengthening in every direction. Inhale, 3. Exhaling here. Walking forwards, inhale to the half left. Walk, 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 half left. Exhale, folding down into the forward bend. Inhale, floating your hands and your gaze upwards. Feel yourself float through space. Exhale, back to the beginning. There's a softness in our approach here. Inhale, float the hands up. Exhale, here's the bowing, the saluting. Half lift, inhale, hands on shins. Left foot, right foot, plank. And because we're so familiar with the sequence, inhale, plank, you can be really present to the feeling of the sequence. Exhaling down. You can even close your eyes and do it. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, down dog. We'll stay 3 breaths. And enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride of the breathing, the ride of the effort. Enjoying the space that you're able to create around the joints. Inhale, 2. Exhale. Inhale, 3. Exhale. Inhaling, coming forwards. Walk, 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 half left. And bowing again into the forward bend. Find there's this epic lifting of the attention as you inhale up. And then come back to standing. Let's do it once more, maybe with eyes closed. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold down. Enjoying the ride of it. Every movement, half left. Right foot, left foot plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower slowly. Into a cobra. And into the down dog for 3 breaths. Spread the hands, broaden your shoulders. Inhale, 1. Exhale. 2. Exhale. Soft whisper on the breath. 3. Coming forwards, inhale, half left. You can walk, step, or jump. Holding down, forward bend. Moving so freely through space. Allow floating up, lifting the hands. And back to Samasthiti. Just take a moment here and find that you are spacious. And it's not just physical. Spacious in the mind. Spacious as awareness. A few rounds of sun salutation and suddenly we are present and we can start to feel this like micro meditation, just a moment where we are entirely present. Present to what? Present to existence, present to space. This is happening. You are a happening. Finding that you're interested enough to stay present in the field of existence. Sun salutation B, without taking it too seriously. Bend the knees and lift the hands into a chair pose. Moving smoothly. Exhale, folding forwards. And feel as though you're really floaty as you move into the half lift. There's a grace in our action. Left foot, right foot plank. We'll still do the inhale plank. This time we might go to chaturanga or the floor. Exhale, chaturanga or the floor. Into an up dog or a cobra, whichever you find more appropriate. Exhale, down dog. We're going to do warrior 1. Step the right foot forwards, bring the back heel down, bend through the front knee, and we'll enjoy a few moments of warrior 1. Looking up at soft gaze. Inhale, 1. Exhale, pull the belly in a little bit as you exhale. Inhale, 2. And exhale with a whisper. We'll take one more breath here. Let's bring our hands down and we'll just take a moment into the arrowhead to load up the front leg. Feel space between your fingers. 1. Exhale. Inhale, 2. And exhale. Let's inhale, 3. Exhale, go straight back to plank. Foot comes back for the extra breath in the plank. Charge up your legs. Inhale here. Exhale, lower to chaturanga or the floor. Into a cobra as you inhale. Exhale, down dog. Moving smoothly, left foot forwards. So even if you have to stumble and smidge yourself forwards, do it in such a way that you feel happy about the space you're creating. 1. Exhale. So we're taking all of the aggression, even the ambition of our practice. 2. Exhale, only creating space that feels good. Inhale, 3. And then exhale, the hands can come down and we're going to tip forwards and take a couple of breaths here in the arrowhead. Inhale, 1. Create space and enjoy that space. Smooth out the breathing. Inhale, 2. Exhale here. So even the effort is spacious. Inhale, 3. Smooth action, hands down, foot back, plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, halfway down to chaturanga or go all the way to the floor into a cobra or an up dog. Let's take a moment in our child's pose. We're going to peel back and just let ourselves rest a moment. Turn the palms open if that feels okay in the shoulders. Take a big, deep sighing breath. We're sipping from the well of ourselves, replenishing the energy through movement and action. This is the nature of Hatha Yoga. It's the yoga of action, the yoga of effort. So we can feel perhaps a stimulated wholeness here. Blood is flowing, movement and change has happened. So there's a tingle under the skin. All right, let's come back to the down dog for 3 breaths. Enjoying the space that you're creating in your hands and your shoulders. Inhale, 1. Exhale. Inhale, 2. Exhale. Inhale, 3. Exhale here. Walking forwards, you can step or jump if you like to. Walk, 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 half lift. Exhale, folding down, forward bend. Inhale, chair pose, bend the knees, lift the hands. And floating back to standing, Samasthiti. Close your eyes and feel. You can feel there's a tingle. There's a stimulation here. We've moved. And the body loves to move. It's who we are. We might be, in fact, the most mobile creatures on this earth. We can walk, we can swim. We can't fly, but we can fall. We can climb. We can do high kicks. We can spin around. We can swing. We can do a great many things, you and I. Let's enjoy the ride. Sun Salutation B. We'll play around with a warrior 2 now. So let's go inhale, chair pose. 2, 3, 4, forward fold, smooth action. Enjoy the ride. Into the half lift, smooth and slow. Left foot, right foot back to the plank. Inhale, plank, smooth, slow breathing. Exhale, halfway down or all the way to the floor, into a cobra or an up dog, and then to the down dog. Let's lift the right foot up this time. So we've got a little bit of space, and we'll just linger here with the right foot lifted. Spin the lungs back to square to the floor, and the weight is equal on both hands. Take 2 more breaths. 1. Exhale. Last breath here. Right foot forwards, warrior 2. We'll play around with our warrior 2. We're going to just take a moment to set our warrior 2 so the legs are nice and stable. And then we're going to play with side angle reverse warrior. So bring the elbow down onto the knee and the left arm up and over. I'm going to set a breathing and moving practice now. Inhale, reverse warrior, left hand down, right arm up. Exhale, side angle. We want the movement to be slow and smooth. Inhale, reverse warrior. Creating side body space, exhale, side angle. So even though the postures are simple, we're creating this beautiful space on the side of the torso in both directions, and we're enjoying the smooth ride of our action, of our movement. Exhale, side angle. We'll do one more. Inhale, reverse warrior. Dive onto the hands, back to plank. Inhale, plank. You can feel the buzz of your right hip. Exhale, halfway down or all the way to the floor. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and exhale, down dog. Situate yourself so you can lift your left foot up. We'll take a couple of breaths in this 3-legged dog. Spread the hands, spin the chest back to square to the floor. 2 more breaths here. Last breath. On the next inhale, left foot steps forwards, find your warrior 2, set yourself up, just stating where the legs are going to stay. And then we're going to spin the lungs, left elbow down, right arm up and over, side angle. And then we inhale, reverse warrior, reaching the left hand up, exhale, side angle, reaching the right arm across. Smooth your breathing and your moving as though you're dancing the breath. You can even get a little dramatic and balletic with your arms if you want to. You can do ballet hands if you so choose. So smooth your movement. That's it, moving and breathing. And this is a real dance of the breath, creating space on the sides. Broadening everything always, hands, shoulders. We'll do one more. Inhale, reverse warrior. And let's dive onto the hands and off that front foot back to the plank for the extra breath. Inhale in the plank. Exhale halfway down or all the way to the floor. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And we'll pull back into our child's pose for a moment. So we can take our hands underneath our forehead now. Just give ourselves a break from the intensity. Keep your breath smooth and long, a little deeper than would be perhaps natural. And let's complete our sun salutation now. So we'll go back into the down dog, spreading the hands, lengthening the limbs and the spine. 3 breaths here. Inhale, 1. Exhale. Inhale, 2. Exhale. Inhale, 3. Exhale here. Walk, step or jump. Inhale, half left. Exhale, fold down. Bend knees, lift hands, chair pose. And Samasthiti here. We'll take a moment to feel. Just feel that we're buzzing now on the inside. We've woken up some of the energy that might be latent in the tissues. We're starting to stimulate the life force. Let's do a balancing pose next. So a good old tree pose. If you need a wall or a pole, grab that now or move yourself towards it. The right foot hooks all the way up, heel towards the inner thigh. So right foot first, we're leaning on the left. Track the knee outwards. Take your hands outwards and just square up your pelvis, just in case you've lifted the right hip. Okay, get yourself nice and steady with your eyes. Gaze softly at something in front of you, and then float the hands up and allow them to meet. The left hand knows where the right hand lives, always. And then bring the hands into the center, soft gaze and smooth breathing. Even if you fall out, just come back in. Every time, just come back in and up. Take your hand onto a wall if you need it. If you find tree pose very difficult, you're just going to stay here. It's hard enough. If you find it very, very easy, you're going to start to shut down the eyes. So the visual field disappears. That's very difficult. So if you're already struggling, don't shut your eyes. Use the visual field. Smooth out your breathing. Smooth out the mind. It's okay. You are standing on one leg, but you need not worry. Smooth the mind. Soften your eyes. You're gazing, staring into space. Last breath here. It's like a standing meditation. Lift the hands up on inhale. And then out on exhale. And you can help the foot come down. And you probably need to kick out the left leg so you can relieve that hip, that foot as well. All right, kick both legs to get ready on the other side. So stabilize your right leg so the left heel can come up. Hook it up and into the opposite thigh. You're pushing the thigh back to the foot, square through your pelvis. And then reach out for a moment, just shine brightly. Decide where you're going to stare. And then float the hands up. The hands will meet above you. Let them find each other. And then hands come into the center. Pushing into your hands, pushing the foot back to the thigh back to the foot. So you're really grounded and breathing. If you start to feel like, okay, I'm so settled and balanced, you can start to close your eyes. Do that slowly. Don't shock yourself into losing the visual field. The visual field creates so much of our balance. And then smooth your mind. Yes, there is challenge, but your mind not be fretful. It's spacious and open. You're soft in your eyes. You're present and spacious. All right, lift the fingers up on inhale. You smoothly move your hands out and down and then release that foot. And we're going to have to kick out the hips a little bit to release that pinching in the hips. Even taking our hands onto our knees and just wagging our tail, just wag so that the sacrum and the muscles around the sacrum can release. And then do a few tailbone circles just to check in with the sacrum and the hips. Tailbone circles in the other direction. All right, and then we'll come back up to standing. Let's do a triangle pose because triangle pose creates such lovely space on the sides of the body. So tip the right block up onto the top edge. We're going to use that to lean upon. The right foot is right next to that block. Left foot steps back. Do a heel to heel line, perhaps. Heel to arch if it feels better. You can test yourself and wherever you feel. The back toes can turn in slightly. Turn the back toes in. Yes. Okay, sweeping action. Inhale, bend knees, an epic opening. And then we reach to the right, fingertips or whole hand on the block, and then reach the left hand up to the sky. We often strain our neck in triangle pose. You do not need to look up. There's nothing more interesting on the ceiling than there is just straight in front of you. So if your neck doesn't feel good, don't look up. Smooth your breathing. Just put yourself back into this line here. Oh, yes. That's it. Charging through your legs, so you're not just locking out through the knees. You're a little bit awake, so you've got space in the joints. You're breathing smooth and slow breaths. Triangle's not necessarily easy. We'll take one more breath here. And then push through the front foot, or you might even bend the knee, come all the way back up and step forwards, kick that out of the legs. Just bring yourself back into balance before we do the other side. So we need the block onto the left side of the left foot. Step the right foot back in a smooth way. Even the transition between standing to opening the legs is smooth. Bend both knees, epic sweep open with a gesture of space, and then reach. Fingers or hand on the block, right hand to the sky. Maybe looking up if it feels okay in the neck, otherwise just looking back into the center and breathing. Allow space to be created through your breathing. Enjoying the field that you are alive within, the field of consciousness. We're enjoying the spaciousness of being awake, aware. There are challenges here, but the mind can stay smooth. You can feel the wakeful awareness, even in the challenge of the posture. Last breath here in the triangle pose. And then push through the front foot or bend the knee and push down through the front foot, coming back up, step forwards and just give yourself a little shake and a shimmer, shake that out. We'll just take a moment in this kind of standing meditation. Let the hands drop to the sides, let your spine be nice and long. Your head is floating on top. You can just move your head around a little bit. Allow the head to connect very softly to the spine, the skull to spine connection soft. You can feel the grounded nature of standing on a planet. You can feel the spacious nature of being an aware animal with this incredible awareness of space. You're present, you're grounded, spacious and whole. Appreciating existence, and existence just is. The isness of existence. It's like landing in it, landing into the isness of existence. It can be abstract and then it can be incredibly obvious. Existence, space, aliveness, awake, wakeful awareness right now, right here, right here. Let's do a sun salutation so that we can get to some seated positions. So you might bring yourself back to the front edge of the mat. You don't need blocks or anything. Bowing to the light of being, bowing to existence. Inhale, float the arms. Exhale, bowing down. Half lift, inhale. Stepping, right foot, left foot, plank. Inhale, plank. Lowering down in your own way, chaturanga on the floor, into a cobra or an up dog. And then back to the down dog. Let's bring the knees down onto the floor, windscreen wipe the feet around to the front, and we'll come into some hip opening forward bends. Let's do a seated number 4 pose. So right ankle onto left knee bends, and we push into our fingertips behind us and then get nice and tight. So we can really feel the treasure that is here in that hip. And so you might close your eyes, your knee is opening away from you. There's challenge, but you are able to smooth the mind. What if your mind was like porcelain smooth. No edges, just this beautiful grain. Porcelain is this fine grain, a porcelain smooth mind. You can allow the smooth mind to be developed by the smooth, slow breathing, as though you have a porcelain smooth breath with a little bit of grain, just a little bit of whisper. Porcelain smooth. Coming straight into the twist called Ardha Matsyendrasana. Tuck the left foot under, bring the right foot down onto the floor. Exactly. Tuck in, do whatever you need to do to adjust. Stand, sit nice and tall and pull the knee right up to the chest so you can feel the opening of the outer hip. Take the opposite arm, it'll be the left arm to hug the knee. Bring the fingers, the right fingers to the back. Twist from the lungs, from the chest, not from the neck. Doesn't matter what you're doing with your head. In fact, bring it back into the center so you can close your eyes and breathe. A porcelain smooth breath, a fine grain, the finest grain in the whisper. Allow spaciousness to occur. Space happens. It's happening now. Life happens. Quite obviously, for whatever reason, life happens. It's happening now. Let's come out of the twist and into one-legged pigeon. So we're going to take the front foot, that right foot, around the back and set up into the hip opener. So now we're focused on the left hip. We're resting down onto elbows or onto the forehead. The hands can create a cushion, and then allow that porcelain smoothness to come through the breathing, through the mind. Hatha yoga, the yoga of effort, the yoga of action. Wakeful awareness through action. And of course, action gives us all this stimulation. There's so much to respond to. We're in response to feeling. We're in response to the tug that we can feel in our tissues, to the pressure that we can feel with wherever we are leaning on. We are responding to experience. All right, let's come back into the twist. Smoothly move the back leg around to the front. We'll just take a moment. So we're marking the posture, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Marking the seated number 4 pose. Just lean back on the hands and untuck the foot. Just let yourself lift up a little higher. Maybe that right hip has more space. How beautiful. And then release. And we'll just give ourselves a little slap in the back of the thighs. Just whack the legs down. Let's do the other side. So left comes onto right leg, and then we bend the right knee. We concertina ourselves like we're origami. And then we get into a place that has challenge, but it's not making us crazy. And then we become smooth again. Smooth breathing, smooth, soft eyes. And this smoothness can stay with us for the rest of the day, for the rest of the evening, for the rest of our lives, living smoothly. We'll take one last breath here. And then we're tucking the right foot under, the left foot comes down, make any little adjustments, and then pull the knee in first, lift nice and tall into your seat. And we'll just do the Ardha Matsyendrasana twist first. Hug the right arm around, take the left fingers behind you, and then spin from the lungs and the ribs, not from the face. So the neck's not likely to need a rotation here. It's just going to catch in your throat. So let the spine be tall and twisting just from the chest moving around. That prevents any jarring in the neck. We can be nice and broad through the shoulders and tall here. And then smooth. You're a smooth operator here. Let's smooth everything out, the breathing, the mind. our approach to ourselves. Two more breaths in the twist. And then changing into a one-legged pigeon, sweep the front foot around to the back. Settle in once you've set yourself up nice and square through the pelvis, leaning forehead onto hands maybe, and then smooth everything out. Even though there's challenge, we can stay smooth. This ability to become smooth means we become balanced. That we have equanimity. That we're responding with a sense of balance. And this creates a bit of a blueprint that we can use this as a way of functioning. When there's challenge, when there's struggle, that you can choose a kind of smooth, balanced response. And of course, that's a work in progress, always, always, always learning, always changing, always responding. Last breath in the one-legged pigeon. And let's sweep the back leg around the front. We'll just mark the twist. Just give yourself a moment in the twist. And a moment in the number 4 pose. Lean on the hands, untouch the bottom foot, and just let yourself reach the chest slightly forwards. And then uncross and just give the legs a bit of a tap. So let's come into a seated position on a block, and it doesn't matter which cross you're using. There's several ways you could sit onto a block, and we'll just focus on the shoulders for the last little bit of our practice. And so let yourself sit tall. Your right arm is going to come around the back so that your fingers can be seen by somebody looking in front. You're going to grab those fingers, interlock the fingers. So your right arm is really wrapped around. We're grabbing the fingers. And then you're going to actively pull the elbow towards the floor, the right elbow, and then pull the ear away from the shoulder. So the right elbow is pulling down and the elbow is moving down and the ear is moving away. So you're pulling away and creating some space in the top of the shoulder. Take a moment here. The other direction, come that way. Yeah. So pull this elbow down and move the ear away there. Can you feel that space that you're creating there? Yeah. And then smooth breathing. You're kind of breathing into the space that you're creating. And then we'll come back into the center. Same arm, right elbow comes around to the front, elbow in front of the face. Scoop under into Garudasana arms. Lift the shoulders up just for a moment, lift the elbows as well. And then without aggression, pull the shoulders back and ground them. So shoulder blades are coming back and down. And then smooth breathing, deep breathing. Breathe into the space that is being created in the stretch. Smooth breathing. Before we move away from this position, both elbows pull to the right. And then you're going to look towards the, pull towards the left. Sorry, elbows towards the left and then look towards the right. Last breath here. And then we release. Give your arms a little swing. We'll do the other side. So left arm reaches around, fingers are revealed. Grab those fingers. Sit back up so you're nice and straight. Pull the elbow, left elbow down, and then pull the ear away from the shoulder. Smooth out your breathing as you find this stretch, pulling the elbow down, pulling the head away. Everything else is steady, so you're not arching your spine. You're sitting right into the center in every other place apart from the elbow pulling down and the ear pulling across. That's it. Couple of breaths. So we're stretching from the inside as we breathe. We're using the breath on purpose. And then coming around with the left arm in front of your face. Scoop under with the right. Vine through your arms. Lift the elbows and the shoulders for a moment. Pull the shoulders back and down, and then breathe deeply. And you can breathe a little bit of extra space into the left shoulder blade. Keep broadening your shoulders and sitting nice and tall, smooth breathing. Two more breaths in this position. Last smooth, porcelain smooth breath with the finest grain of whisper. Pull both arms to the right this time and look to the left. A couple of breaths. Keep broadening the shoulders, keep pulling the left shoulder down. Last breath here. And then come into the center and unwind, unwind, unwind. Okay, stretch like you've just woken up. Just lift your hands, brighten your hands, and then let your hands rest onto the lap. Soften your face, let yourself sit for a moment. You'll feel this beautiful glow in your hands, perhaps in your shoulders. Maybe you feel a tingle in your fingers. We're just going to sit for a moment now that we have tugged and pulled and released our tissues. But we've also become aware of our wakefulness and that it's enough. That this is enough. There is a fullness, a wholeness. And still feel the delight of the smooth breathing, a fine grain of your aliveness. As we sit here appreciating this tingle of the life force, perhaps a dignity becomes very apparent, a natural dignity, the dignity of being alive, the dignity of being alive. Not needing to add anything, not needing to take anything away. The native dignity of life. You might like to linger for a little while in your meditation or unfold the body and just lie into a relaxation. So let yourself either stay seated or lying down. I'm just going to disappear. You're going to linger in your practice if you have a few extra minutes. Letting yourself settle and continuing perhaps for the rest of the day, the smooth, fine grain of you. It's been a pleasure to share with you. I'll disappear and I don't want to interrupt your meditation or relaxation. Namaste.